Here are some top things you need to do before taking a cybersecurity job. Here are some top things you need to do before taking a cybersecurity job. One, you need to make sure that the salary is right for you. If the money isn't right, then what's the point? All right. The second thing you need to make sure you find out is the um, the job itself. Is it a hectic job? Is it a stressful job? You want to make sure that it's not one of those types of jobs where they just pile on a lot of work on you. The third thing you want to check out is the client and contractor relationship. So if you're a contractor working at a government site and your client, the government, is not very kind to the contractor, which we sometimes see, it might not be worth uh, taking that job. You also want to check to see if there's any travel involved. Sometimes they might try to downplay the level of travel. They might say some travel included or 10% included. So you really want to find out, hey, what is the travel schedule like? And how many times a year do I need to travel? Am I traveling domestically? Am I going to travel internationally? Those are things that you need to find out. Also find out if your travel expenses are going to be covered. Another thing you want to find out before you take on a cybersecurity job is the size of the team. So knowing the size of the team is going to determine how much work you're going to put in. And that's also going to dictate how much of a salary you would like to ask for. So if you're going to be a one-man show, then that tells you that the work might be hectic and heavy, and you need to ask more for more money. Another thing I would ask is if the job is listed as a remote job, ask them how long is this going to last for. Sometimes the client might have something going on where the jobs might be remote for a certain time, and then they might go back into a full on-site schedule. Because I've had situations where um, the client was doing construction on one of the buildings, and because of that, there was insufficient parking, and they ran out of desk space, so they just had to make people work from home. And once the construction was done, people started coming back to work. So you need to figure out if that's the case, or if the job is listed as a 100% remote job, ask about meetings, because sometimes what they do is the headquarters of the job might be located in Texas. And let's say you live in Maryland. They might say, well, occasionally we have a branch meeting in Texas where everyone is required to be on site. So you need to find out, hey, I live in Maryland. Your job was listed as a 100% remote job. Um, am I going to be required to come in on site for meetings or other things? So you need to clarify that. Another thing you need to clarify is if it is a contract job, how long have they had the contract, and how long or when is the contract going to end? So how long have they had the contract, and when is the contract going to end? Because that's going to tell you if you need to start preparing for another job, because sometimes they might have a contract, they might have just been awarded a contract, and there's no telling if they're going to recompete and win the contract. But if you have a situation where that particular company has had the contract for 10 years, 5 years, there's a high percentage that that same company um, organization will retain the contractor. So you want to find out those things before you take on a job. The other thing as it relates to contracts is if they do have um, the contract, you want to find out if they have other contracts and how easy would it be to roll you off from one contract to the other, because you might start a job and may not like that particular contract. So you want to see if they're flexible to roll you over to another contract, or if the main contract you got hired for ended, they have other contracts in the pipeline. They could roll you over to those contracts seamlessly without any issues. Most smaller companies might just have one or two contracts, so that's one thing you need to look out for before taking on a job. The other thing you need to ask is the job itself. Like, what is the roles and responsibilities of the job? If it does not fit a traditional um, ISSO roles and responsibility or SCA roles and responsibility, then you might want to think about that, taking a job or not. Because sometimes they might try to add more roles and responsibilities than what you normally do. Sometimes they might have a position that's a supporting role. So you might not be the ISSO, you might not be the security control assessor, you might be a supporting role to the security control assessor or supporting role to the ISSO, and they'll have you doing everything and the kitchen sink. I hope this was helpful. Follow me for more cybersecurity career tips.
Hey, if you're interested in any of my cybersecurity videos, here is one I would recommend for you. It's the Information System Security Officer Training. This course comes with tons of videos, a CAP, which is the Certified Authorization Professional Bootcamp, comes with quizzes, comes with a certificate of completion, resume template, ebook, monthly live Q&A sessions, the ability to ask questions as well and get a response back in 48 hours. Also has interview prep and job prep. So this is a power-packed course. For more information, visit www.cyberfirstacademy.com. Thanks. Don't forget to subscribe and like. We're also on IG at CyberFirst Solutions. Thank you.